Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to find the percent when the amount and the base are given. So let's say that you have this problem, for example. What percent of 40 is 30? What percent of 40 is 30? Again, remember, we always use what? We always use is over of equals to percent over 100. Now remember what we said, when you're doing these problems, the first thing you want to be able to write down is the percentage. So you go in the problem, you look for the percentage symbol. Now here there's no percentage symbol in the problem. So what you do is you read the problem carefully. So all it means is the percentage wasn't given. And again, you can clearly see it. Here they're saying what percent. What always stands for the unknown, what you don't know, and what they're asking for, the unknown. What percent? All it means is I do not know what the percentage is. So the percent is the x in this case because I do not know what the percentage is. Therefore, the percent symbol is the one that you're going to replace by the x. That's the one that I don't know what it is. And the 100 always stays the same. Now, is over of. Let's keep reading. Of 40 is 30. Of, what is the closest number to of? 40. So they're telling me what percent of what? Of 40. So the 40 is for the of. Is 30. And the is for 30. So the 40 is for the of. And the 30 is for the is. Again, what is the closest number to of? It's 40. And what is the closest number to is? Well, you have 40 and 30, but we already used the 40 for the of. Therefore, the closest number to is 30. That's the reason why we replace is by 30 and of by 40. Now that I have 30 over 40 equals to x over 100, again, we can do cross multiply. So remember, this times this, and this times this. So 30 times 100, when you're multiplying by 100, like we said, all you do is you move the decimal point 2 times to the right because you expect the number to get bigger. That's the reason why you're moving it to the right. So when I have 30 times 100, then 40 times x on the other side. 40 times x is just the number with the x next to it, so 40x. Now 30 times 100. 30 times 100, so when we multiply by 100, like I said, we're going to move the decimal 2 times to the right. So there's no decimal point here. We always assume the decimal point is to the right of the number, and we're moving it 2 times to the right. 1, 2. And any empty spot, we fill it in with 0. So 30 times 100 just give me this number here, 3,000. Therefore, 30 times 100, let me just rewrite the problem here. 30 times 100 equals to 40x. 30 times 100 gives me 3,000 equals to 40x. Now the next step was to always leave the x by itself. So if I want to leave the x by itself, the 40 needs to go away. So the only way to make the 40 go away is always by dividing both sides by that number here. Because if I divide both sides by this number, the 40 will be gone. I can cross it out. So x will finally by itself. And all I have left is 30,000 divided by 40. That I'm going to do on the side and check what I get. So when we're dividing, we know what goes inside and we know what goes on the outside. So 30,000 divided by 40. This one goes inside. I over inside, outside. So 40 goes on the outside. And 30,000 goes on the inside. So how many times 40 goes into 300? Again, you can find how many times 4 goes into 30 to take a good guess. So 4 goes into 37 times, since 4 times 7 is 28, and 4 times 8 is 32. We always pick the closest one to 30, but that is smaller than 30. So 4 goes into 37 times. So if you forget how to do division, look at our division videos in the first section of this, in section 1, and you'll see how we did this division here. So 40 goes into 307 times. 7 times 40 is 280. Again, you can go on the side and do it. We're going a little bit faster, assuming that you know how to do multiplication, division, and subtraction. So by now, Bring down the 0. How many times 40 goes into 200? That's 5 times. 5 times 40 is 200. 200 take away 200 is 0. So your final answer is 75. And don't forget to put the percentage symbol because you were looking for what? For percent. So your final answer is 75%. Let's do one last example. What percent of 12 is 27? So let's write it down again. Is over of equals to percent over 100. So let's read this and decipher this. What, which always stands for x, percent, all it means is what percent. That means I don't know what the percent is. What percent you're talking about. So that's what it means. I don't know what the percent is. So that's the reason why the percentage symbol, that's the one that you replace by the x over 100, always over 100. Now is and of, so let's keep reading from left to right. So of 12, so the of is 12, is 27. So the is 27. Now, let's say, what do we do from now? We do cross multiply. This times this and this times this. So 27 times 100 equals to 12 times x. So 12 times x is just a number with the x next to it. Now what is 27 times 100? Like we say, when you're multiplying by 100, you just move the decimal 2 times to the right. And the reason why it's 2 times is because you have 2 zeros. So 27, there's no decimal point, but the decimal point is always to the right of the number when you can see it. And we move it 2 times to the right. 1, 2. And we fill it in with zeros. So 27 times 100 to save you the trouble of going on the side and literally do 27 times 100. You don't have to do that. You already know the answer by using the trick. So it's 2,700 equals to 12x. Now how do we leave the x by itself? It's by getting rid of the 12. But if I get rid of the 12 here, whatever I do on this side, I always do it on the other side. So once the 12 is gone, all I have to do is this division to find out what my final answer is. So if I have 2700 over 12, I already know that the 12 goes on the outside because this one always, the top always goes inside and the bottom always goes on the outside. 2700 goes on the inside here. So how many times 12 goes into 27? It's 2 times. 2 times 12 is 24. Again, if I'm going a little bit fast in the division, go back to our previous videos on how to divide and you'll see how we did this. 2 times 12 is 24. 27 minus 24 is 3. Bring down a 0. How many times 12 goes into 30? It's 2 times 2. 2 times 12 is 24. 30 take away 24 is 6. Bring down this 0. How many times 12 goes into 60? It's 5 times. 5 times 12 is exactly 60. And 60 take away 60 is 0. So if I went a little bit too fast again to do that problem, go back to our previous videos and you'll see how we did it. So your final answer is 225. So x equals to 225. And don't forget to say the percentage. Don't forget to put that percentage symbol. Why? Because you're looking for what percent. So your final answer is literally 225%. Thanks for watching and make sure you practice. Bye.